the health services to 4 other or 3 other districts. Therefore, the committee was further briefed that the hospital had a shortage of wards such that the maternity ward was being shared amongst the postnatal, antenatal, and acute bay, contrary to the requirement of a general hospital. The committee therefore urges the executive to immediately secure funding for the rehabilitation of Senanga General Hospital. In addition, the committee recommends for the expansion of the infrastructure at the facility, funds permitting, to meet the status of the hospital. Therefore, this appears to be an urgent matter, especially that it also feeds into other districts such as Sioma, Shangombo, Lukulu, and others. Mr. Speaker, we also looked at electrification of villages in Skuka, in Sioma district. The committee noted with displeasure that nothing had been done in terms of the project being implemented, and that the assurance was made on the floor of the House. The committee was informed during the site visit to Skuka village that RIA, which is Rural Electrification Authority, was yet to conduct a detailed feasibility study which will determine how much money will be required for the full implementation of the project by the fourth quarter of 2025. Mr. Speaker, the committee therefore strongly urges the executive to immediately secure funds for RIA to conduct a detailed feasibility study as promised to the committee without any further delay, so that the people in Skuka who are in dire need of electricity could be connected to the national grid. Mr. Speaker, before I conclude, let me just submit that government assurances, Mr. Speaker, deals with a number of assurances made by the executive through ministers on this floor of the House. These commitments must be implemented and come to fruition. The committee notes that a number of assurances, as said by the mover of the motion, have been said and assured, but have not been implemented. And this includes even committees which were made far back as before 2021. Mr. Speaker, this committee is one of the oversight committees, and its work is very important. Therefore, it is important that the committee is given ample time and resources to ensure that most of these projects that are being implemented are physically checked upon, because some of the reports that we receive are actually contrary to the situation that we find on the ground. So in order for government to ensure to implement these programs, the Committee on Government Assurances needs to be well resourced. And indeed, finally, I just want to thank your office, thank all the members of the committee for the work well done and the commitment shown to this work. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Any further debate? The Honourable Member for Kafinsa.
I thank you once again, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to make a few comments on a document that is before the August House, which is a report on government assurances. Chairperson for the committee and Vice Chair, thank you for the report. Unfortunately, Chairperson, through you, Mr. Speaker, the report has not dealt with the key issues that are affecting the people of Kamfinsa constituency. And I will refer to you, due to the limitation of time, Mr. Speaker, assurance number 67/22. Mr. Speaker, I'm on record standing where I'm standing right now, requesting for government to provide money to provide water to our people in Kamfinsa constituency. And a government assurance was made on this floor by the Minister of Water that a water distribution tank will be built in the showgrounds to be able to provide water to our people. Unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, we are now going into our third year. The progress in terms of works is only at 12%. And as I stand here, Madam Chairperson of the committee, through you, Mr. Speaker, we still don't have water that is supposed to be supplied to our people in Kamfinsa constituency. And our people are asking, what is the purpose of putting this in the government assurance when water will not be provided to our people? The recommendation from your committee on this matter is that your committee resolves to await a progress report. Mr. Speaker, that sounds very academic. because it does not provide a timeline. It does not state what the Ministry of Water will do to ensure that water is provided to our people. My appeal, Mr. Speaker, and this is a complaint from the people of Kamfinsa, is that 12% progress on establishing a water tank that is supposed to service Ndeke, Miseshi, Ndeke village, Mulenga compound, and part of Usakile constituency, Mr. Speaker, 12% is unacceptable. And I hope, Chairperson, that next time key issues such as these ones are brought to your attention, demand more from government, because when government makes an assurance, Mr. Speaker, we expect that something will be done. Assurance number 2, 07/23, Mr. Speaker, again I'm on record. I did request the Ministry of Health to provide the logistical support that is needed to complete the construction of Ndeke Village mini hospital, which is being referred to as Ndeke Village Clinic. According to your report, Mr. Chairperson, the report is saying they are waiting for a bill of quantity. Mr. Speaker, that is unacceptable. A bill of quantity is basically calculating how much material do you need to finish this infrastructure, how much material do you need to finish this particular piece of equipment. But to say in a report that they are waiting for a bill of quantity, Mr. Speaker, this is unacceptable. I was expecting that there might be other challenges, but a bill of quantity where you have qualified people to estimate how much is required, Mr. Speaker, I find this response in this particular report to be totally unacceptable. And let me indicate and put it on record. From the Constituency Development Fund, Mr. Speaker, we have provided the following 3 pieces of funding. 2022 CDF, we provided 805,000 kwacha, Minister of Health, towards Ndeke Village Clinic. 2024, we provided 500,000 kwacha towards the completion of the works. 2025, this year, we have provided 1 million kwacha from the Constituency Development Fund. We have failed to utilize these resources because there is no bill of quantity. Mr. Speaker, is that acceptable? Is that what we should be reporting to the people of Zambia? That a health facility that is supposed to save our people cannot be complete because according to this report, there is no bill of quantity. There are challenges with the contractor. Mr. Speaker, I expected a better response that would give assurance to our people in Kamfinsa constituency, in particular Ndeke village, that government will resolve this problem. My appeal to the Minister of Health, through you, Chairperson of the committee, and through the Speaker, is that can we provide the remaining facilities to this health facility? Resources are there. What the Ministry of Health should do is to give us the extra money that we need based on the bill of quantity. I find this response, Mr. Speaker, to be unacceptable. Assurance number 19/24, distribution of CDF equitably. Mr. Speaker, according to the report, the response is saying that there is no data that has been provided to the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Local Government to decide on how CDF will be distributed equitably. Again, Mr. Speaker, I'm wondering, we have experts in Ministry of Finance, we have experts in Ministry of Local Government, qualified people, Mr. Speaker. I don't think that we don't have people who are qualified. Are we saying up to now, from 2024, 1 year down the line, there is no data that is informing government to decide which formula do we use to give more resources to those that are lacking development? Because clearly, Mr. Speaker, there are constituencies that need more than the others. The level of opportunities for funding, for instance, in a constituency, in an urban setup such as Lusaka, chances of Kabwata constituency, as an example, getting funding from different donor support institutions is higher compared to a constituency in a rural area. Are we saying up to now we don't have a formula that will bridge that gap that exists between urban constituencies and rural constituencies? Mr. Speaker, this response is not sufficient. And I hope that when the committee is sitting, it is not a matter of just having a report brought to this august house. Sometimes the committee has to ask itself, is this answer which has been provided by our experts satisfactory? Mr. Speaker, the answer that there is no data that has been availed for government to decide how funding should be given to different constituencies. Mr. Speaker, that answer is not satisfactory. Chairperson, in your next report, we demand answers from the people that are responding to these particular queries. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, on account of time, assurance number 18/24, construction of industrial yards. Mr. Speaker, Chinsali, Choma, and Kabwe are supposed to have 3 new industrial yards. Mr. Speaker, the question I'm asking myself, the answer says, the response from the ministry says that they haven't secured funding. What was the purpose of making this government assurance if government did not have a source of funding for these three particular industrial yards? The people of Chinsali are waiting for an industrial yard. The people of Choma are waiting for the industrial yard. The people of Kabwe are waiting for an industrial yard. And an assurance was made on this floor. The response says there are no funds that have been made available. Mr. Speaker, those answers are not satisfactory. I hope that next report, Chairperson of the committee, you demand for better answers. The people of Kamfinsa, once again, Mr. Speaker, do submit, and I thank you.
The Honourable Member for Nyimba.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Let me just add a few words on the committee's report. Chair, I've listened to your committee, and let me just go to assurance 02/23 under the Ministry of Justice. Mr. Speaker, it is now 3 years since we were assured by the executive that the local court at Nyimba, will be completed. It's 2 years plus now. The project has stalled and there's no one on site. We were assured by then in 2023 that by June 2023, that by December 2023, the court will be up and running. So our plea as a people of Nyimba is that government should consider us as part and parcel of Zambia as a country. Why, Mr. Speaker, is that all the projects in our district, in Nyimba constituency, they have all stalled. And there's no project, no ministry is working on any project, whether under the Ministry of Education, under the Ministry of Justice, under the Ministry of Infrastructure.
Order. There's something that you have said that you have to withdraw. You've said that the government should consider you that you are part of Zambia. And that does not stand well with me. You have to withdraw that because building a local court, I would blame you, the Member of Parliament, because you have CDF that you can use. So withdraw that statement.
Mr. Speaker, I withdraw the statement that they should consider us as being part of the country Zambia. Mr. Speaker, you may, I know you are very much aware.
Withdraw properly. Withdraw it properly.
Mr. Speaker, I withdraw that Nyimba is part of Zambia.
And you are enjoying the benefits of being in Zambia.
Mr. Speaker, just permit me, just that you cut me, you would have given me chance and you would have gotten my point where I was going.
No.
So for now, I withdraw that Nyimba is part of Zambia.
And we are enjoying the benefits.
And we are enjoying the CDF benefits.
You can proceed.
Mr. Speaker, Nyimba has been funded, this court has been funded through the Ministry of Justice, and there was a government assurance that the project will be completed. And reading your report, Mr. Speaker, is that the problem was with the designing from the Ministry of Infrastructure. But since then, we expected that government would have worked on our district court, our local court, because we do not have a court in the district. The Ministry of Justice being housed is, they're renting a private house, and this does not give comfort to the honorables who are presiding on the matters affecting the good people of Nyimba. Mr. Speaker, let me speak about the Minister of Infrastructure. The very able Minister of Mine there, Engineer Milopi, assured us, while standing where he's seated there, that Nyimba District Hospital will be done. Phase 2, the cracks at the Phase 1 hospital will be worked on. Thank God the cracks at the Phase 1 hospital have been worked on. But the second phase of the district hospital, Mr. Speaker, hasn't been worked on. You may agree with me that today, if you ask the Minister of Health, they will tell you that the report is that we've got over Nyimba health facilities are attending to people over 167,000 people. So meaning the facilities we have, especially the district hospital, is not sufficient enough because it's not completed by the minister. And by the way, Mr. Speaker, CDF cannot work on this project because the project is big. The assurance from the Minister of Science and Technology, my very able Minister of Science and Technology, they assure the people of Nyimba that the people of Katipa Ward, the Chinsimbo Ward, these Rwanga Ward, these are wards which are not covered by network, that by the year 2023 December, they will be connected to the network. Nothing. Even the best performing network, which is Zamtel in my constituency, is not connected to this. These wards are not connected. And if you look at the population of this ward, there are over 40,000 people who are not connected. And this is not helping us out, Mr. Speaker. The Minister of Tourism, they assured that they are going to drill bores, different bores, which will be powered by solar to deter animals from invading our fields. But this, for Nyimba, it hasn't happened. I mean, the ministry hasn't done the needful. Mr. Speaker, the ministry has reported that the private sector, the safari hunting outfits, have done 30 bores. We would have been I would have appreciated the ministry if they have said, now that the safari outfits that have done this, as government, from the assurance they gave us on 29th September, if I'm not mistaken, the minister has done the following bores. That would have helped us out. Mr. Speaker, on the most disadvantaged, Nyimba is one of the most disadvantaged constituents. By each party as a provincial executive, and Lusaka as the capital or the central administratively. Why do I say so, Mr. Speaker? The Minister of Minister of Energy assured us, the minister was seated there, this is perpetual succession. Sorry, Minister, since Minister Kapara is here, he remember assuring the good people of Nyimba that St. Joseph Kachorora will be connected. Today, it's 2 years down line. We are not connected. When I complain, I will be told to withdraw, Mr. Speaker. So Kachorora, that's why we pass, Mr. Speaker. It's dark. God forbid that one of the ministers could have an accident between Nyimba and Ruangwa. The hospital we have there, it's St. Joseph. And St. Joseph is not connected. And when we talk about St. Joseph, it's not about Nyimba. This is a facility for everyone. So Minister of Health, I need, and your team, please see to it that we connect St. Joseph. This is a facility the Roman Catholic has bought equipment over $400,000. They cannot use them because the facility is not connected to the national grid. This is a facility which is used by Fera constituents. This is a facility which is used by Lufunsa constituency as well as Nyimba constituency. But it is not connected to the national grid. What we are asking is that, can you give us, you are not giving the people of Nyimba or Eastern Province, we are giving the entire country, because this is what you call a black spot of our country. This is at Lenamo, the most dangerous part of Eastern Great East Road. So what are we begging? We are begging for that facility to be connected so that everyone can be safe as we travel using Great East Road. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Member for Namwala.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Speaker, for allowing me to add 2 or 3 sentences to this report which is on the floor of this House now. Mr. Speaker, we have heard a couple of assurances, and indeed I want to agree that some of the assurances have not been actualized purely because of attitude, ownership, and responsibility by some of the government workers. I've said this because, Mr. Speaker, there are instances of the projects where money was released by the central government through the means of finance, but nothing has been done despite confirmation that indeed the money was in the accounts. There are about 3 or 4 projects which were inspected by the committee, and confirmation was given. But then the question was, why is work not done? And the answer will be, no, we are still waiting for the contractor. Mind you, 2 ministries are actually more involved under this committee, which is the Ministry of Finance and Ministry of Infrastructure. The Ministry of Finance, Mr. Speaker, are the funders, whilst the infrastructure are actually supervisors. Now, my appeal is that people have been entrusted to superintend over these projects must have the right attitude, take ownership and responsibility. Because if the assurances money is given, as promised on the floor of this House, and the implementers have gone to sleep. This is one thing that we have always advocated for, that we need to change our attitude towards government work. Because it's only then that we are going to actualize things as is stated in the assurances. Mr. Speaker, further, it's very important to indicate that these projects, as pronounced, and if we are to take a check from 2021, yes, indeed, there are some that have not been funded. A lot have been, but the delivery unit is where the problem is. Now, always we'll be asking, what is it that we need to do to improve? And it's the reason why we have indicated these 3 elements, which is attitude, ownership, and responsibility, so that, Mr. Speaker, once the people entrusted, once the people indicated or entrusted with implementation are actually there to perform on behalf of the citizens of this country, things, Mr. Speaker, will move. And also, the appeal ought to be made by the Ministry of Finance. The funds that they release, there's always an inspection unity that needs to ensure that the monies that is released, they follow it to ensure that these projects are actually met within the period indicated. If we don't do that, the attitude of laissez-faire will be at the play, and with that, little will be achieved. With these few words, Mr. Speaker, I submit.
The Honourable Member Funkana.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for this opportunity. As I make my submission, permit me, because I've not done that, to congratulate my elder brother, the Minister of Local Government. I call him the perfect gentleman. For me, he's the only man who is qualified to play in the Champions League. Sadly, he has joined the team when it has been relegated to the provincial league. Mr. Speaker, there are 3 issues that I want to speak to in this report. Number 1 is a cash for work, highlighted on page 14, which unfortunately is under the supervision of my elder brother, the new minister. You wish to know, Chairperson, or rather, Mr. Speaker, that when this country faced one of the worst droughts, we got support from cooperating partners in the name of financial resources to be able to mitigate the impact of the drought. And you are aware, Mr. Speaker, you wish to know that we add a supplementary budget to a tune of 2 billion kwacha towards helping our people with temporary jobs to mitigate the effect of climate change. One of these programs that was undertaken by the UPND government is Cash for Work, which literally entails allowing our people to work for food. In my language, Mr. Speaker, what the UPND has done, we can basically say, allowing our people to go and work for food. Because, Mr. Speaker, this is the money that was provided to this country by cooperating partners to help our people navigate the challenges of a drought. For political expedience, the UPND government subjects our people to be working for food, literally. Now, the challenges have emerged as reported in this report. When the committee went into Livingstone, they found nothing. That is a typical situation on the ground. This Cash for Work has become a cash cow. Unscrupulous people are creating fake lists of beneficiaries. These are reports everywhere you go, Mr. Speaker, that people are producing lists of relatives purporting to have been the ones that did the work. That is why it is not by coincidence that when the committee went on the ground, they could not be provided with lists. They could not even be shown where work was done under this program. It is not by coincidence. It is a scheme for unscrupulous people to benefit from this program. Mr. Speaker, let me speak to the second issue, which is the issue of the cancer disease hospitals. Today, Mr. Speaker, a lot of our people have died. Those who cannot afford to go and access health facilities that are supporting cancer patients. Now, it will interest you in this report because you see, this committee speaks to assurances made by government, voluntarily, of what government is going to do in regards to problems that have been highlighted. When the issue of the defunct machines in the cancer disease hospitals was brought to this house, the minister made an assurance in October 2023 that government had already engaged a contractor to replace obsolete machines in the 2 cancer disease hospitals in Lusaka and in Ndola, as well as build another facility in Livingstone. In the assurance, government indicated that this contractor was going to replace these machines in 6 months. Now, this was 2023 when the assurance was made that the funds were available through the budget as well as support from the donor community. This is 2023. Our people are dying, yet the assurance was that in 6 months, the machines will be replaced. This report, Mr. Speaker, was produced last month. If you look at the report, again, the minister is assuring that these machines are going to be replaced in the first quarter of 2025. Where are we today? This is June. But still the report is saying the machines are going to be replaced in the first quarter of 2025. When the minister assured this house that this was going to have been done 6 months from October 2023. What does this speak to? Inefficiency in the way we are managing the affairs of our people. It speaks to how are we performing. That is why I said our friends, unfortunately, have dropped into the provincial league as opposed to a Champions League. Mr. Speaker, government assured to undertake a high-resolution countrywide geological aerial survey to ascertain the extent of mineralization around the country. Those that came before us, Mr. Speaker, knew of the existence of certain minerals, in places where today you find game management reserves, the previous governments, particularly the UNIP government, knew in those areas there existed minerals. They had to do with certain areas to reserve certain minerals for the future. Mr. Speaker, today the UPND government has provided or has engaged a Canadian company to do an aerial countrywide survey to see wherever our minerals are. When, on one hand, they've not even been able to manage the already known resources, mineral resources. The MP for Mufumbwe was talking about the gold rush in Mufumbwe and how people are dying because of poor management of those resources. Today, the country is a mass of gold resources. Everywhere you go, Mr. Speaker, you will find people scrambling for gold. But yet this country is wallowing in poverty. We have failed to manage the resources that we already know exist in this part and that part. But this government wants now to do an aerial survey using a foreign company to now uncover all the minerals. Where are they going to go? Nobody knows, Mr. Speaker. How can you rush to uncover all the minerals when you have failed to deal with the minerals that you already know? We had Sujrite. Unfortunately, when we sang songs about Sujrite, Mr. Speaker, the only report we've received now is that Sujrite has depleted. When government had deployed officers to go and protect the Sujrite resources in Luapula, our people in Luapula have walked not even with a toilet out of the lucrative mineral called Sujrite. But our people today wants to uncover the entire country so that we now lay bare all the minerals, yet we have failed to manage all the minerals that we already know and where they exist and the extent of the mineralization. This is
all the time is up.
Before
the honorable ministers are ready to respond, but before they respond, there's a point of order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Article, is it 271? Standing orders. Honorable Mr. Speaker, the idea behind government assurances is to indicate that which was stated by the government, that which was promised and has not been done or has been done. The honorable member is my colleague, is stating a fact which is still in progress. It has not been completed. It is still in progress. How then does this qualify to be under government assurance? Because it has not been completed. Is he in order to mislead the public and the listener that the aerial survey is a fake one? Is he in order? Thank you.
Honorable Member Fonkana. Honorable Member Fonkana, let me pass my verdict. What the Honorable Member for Kalabo Central is saying is true. Government is willing to embark on such a mission to ensure that we know where we are standing in terms of mapping of minerals, but that does not mean that it has already been done. So for you to project that government is trying to do this and that, I don't think, no. Honorable Member of Vunkana, don't mislead the public and yourself. So the Honorable Member for Nkana is completely out of order for misleading himself. A number of ministers have indicated they want to debate. We'll start with the Honorable Member, the Honorable Minister for Education.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to thank you most sincerely for according me this opportunity to respond to the report of the Committee on Government Assurances presented during this fourth session of the 13th National Assembly. At the outset, allow me on behalf of the Ministry of Education to commend the Committee on Government Assurances for its diligent and objective scrutiny of the commitments made by government on the floor of this House. The committee's report provides invaluable insights into the performance of the executive in fulfilling its obligations to the Zambian people. Mr. Speaker, the Ministry of Education welcomes the recommendations and observations contained in the report. We take note of the concerns raised regarding the pace of infrastructure development, teacher deployment, and the delivery of quality education services, especially in underserved areas. I wish to reassure the House that my ministry remains fully committed to fulfilling assurances made. The construction and completion of university and school infrastructure projects, such as student hostels and 115 and 2002 secondary schools across the country, are critical steps towards achieving equitable access to education. As highlighted in the report, substantial progress has been made with most contracts already signed and contractors on site, while a few are at various stages of procurement, tendering, and implementation. We are also grateful to the committee for highlighting challenges relating to funding constraints, community engagement, land encroachments, and delays in the finalization of legal processes. These are genuine concerns that we continue to address through interministerial coordination and enhanced stakeholder engagement. Mr. Speaker, let me also take this opportunity to reaffirm the Ministry's unwavering commitment to teacher welfare and deployment. As the committee observed, the issue of payroll alignment and replacement of transferred teachers, particularly in districts such as Mulobezi, remains a top priority. We are implementing strategic measures to ensure equitable staffing and efficient payroll management across the country. With regard to teacher accommodation, the Ministry acknowledges the delayed works at sites such as Chiwondo Primary School. To ensure the timely completion of these projects, we are actively exploring supplementary funding mechanisms, including public-private partnerships and collaborations with local authorities through the Constituent Welfare Fund. Mr. Speaker, the Ministry further recognizes the vital role of ICT in education. We are making steady progress in expanding digital infrastructure in schools with support of partners such as ZICTA, Smart Zambia, UNICEF, and the GIGA initiative. As recommended by the committee, we remain committed to ensuring that rural schools are not left behind in the digital transformation of education. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, I once again commend the Committee on Government Assurances for its thorough and balanced report. The Ministry of Education stands ready to work collaboratively with all stakeholders, including this august House, to ensure that the assurances made to the people of Zambia translate into meaningful and tangible outcomes. Let me assure the House that we will provide a comprehensive progress report in due course as we continue to deliver on our mandate of providing inclusive, quality, and relevant education for all. Mr. Speaker, thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Infrastructure and Urban Development.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I thank you for according me an opportunity to respond to the action taken report by the Committee of Government Assurances. And in the same vein, I want to thank the committee for producing this report. Mr. Speaker, we have taken note of the observations and recommendations of the committee. It is important to note that many assurances have remained outstanding for a long time, as rightly observed by the committee. Some of these assurances were inherited from the previous administration. But of course, we take full responsibility as the current government for their implementation as a government. I wish to report that the New Dawn government has made strides to achieve some of these assurances, despite a challenging fiscal position and the debt burden inherited from the previous administration. It is important that members appreciate this fact. Mr. Speaker, the government assurances on infrastructure are many because of the desire of our people to improve their living standards through government provision of public infrastructure. As government, we are eager to meet these expectations of our people. It is indeed the responsibility of government to provide the required infrastructure to support the provision of public services and support economic activities. It is important to note that when faced with a challenging fiscal environment, as we have been experiencing since assuming office, many of the government assurances, including those made by the previous administrations, are likely to remain unfulfilled. Mr. Speaker, the new Dawn government is, however, resolved and remains committed to providing our people with quality and cost-effective infrastructure procured at the correct price and delivered timely. Mr. Speaker, despite the fiscal constraints, government is using innovative methods like public-private partnerships to undertake infrastructure projects. Examples, of course, include the Chingola-Kasumbalesa Road, Luansha-Fisenge-Masangano Road, and the Lusaka-Ndola-Dual Carriageway, among others. Government has continued to complete many projects that remained stalled, including civic centers in Manyinga and the Nyimba districts, administrating blocks in Mpongwe and Rufwanyama, police stations in Siavonga district, among many others. The government has completed the upgrade to Kasama Airport and is currently working on the Mansa, Nakonde, and Mfue airports. Government has continued to liquidate the debt associated with the construction of the Kenneth Kaunda International Airport and the Simon Mwansa-Kapwepwe Airport. Mr. Speaker, government has commenced works on the Tateyoyo to Katunda turn-off road and is making progress on the Monzeniko Road. Further, government has commenced work on the Chipata-Chanida Road as well as the Chipata-Chadiza Road. Government has continued with the installation of acro bridges across the country, thus connecting many communities to each other, as well as rehabilitating bridges. The new Dawn government completed the construction of the Kafue Hook Bridge, which had stalled for many years from the previous administration. Indeed, yes, Chiwuluma Road. I wish, before I conclude, Mr. Speaker, a little bit of time, I just want to comment on the Honorable Member for Nkana. As Member of Parliament for Nkana, he represents me because I'm also a Nkana resident. We should not, Honorable Member, we should not underrate or underestimate the importance of the geological area mapping exercise that has been carried out. When you state that these minerals that we are seeing all over the place were known many years ago, I can tell you that in those days, these were not known. I was part of the very senior management in the mining sector that developed what we call the 30-year outlook. The only gold that was known was Matara mine in Mumbwa and the Dan Robin mine in Mumbwa. No other gold was known. In order to know it, we have to support the aerial mapping, which the Honorable Minister is carrying out. This will pinpoint where people can go and mine safely. What is happening now is like the way copper was discovered in Luansha in 1932, where someone shot an antelope. When they went to skin it, they found copper deposits. But these days, we need a lot more accurate means of determining where our ore bodies are. We should support that, especially my Honorable Member of Parliament for Nkana constituency, which is a mining constituency. Mr. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity to comment on this report. Thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Mines and Mineral Development also wants to respond.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Allow me to thank the Committee on Government Assurances for its report on topical issues for the fourth session of the 13th National Assembly, laid before the House on Monday, 16th June 2025, by the chairperson of the committee, Ms. Chushi Kasanda, MP. At the onset, let me express my gratitude to the chairperson of the committee, the seconder of this motion, and honorable members who have debated and supported the report. The committee report has raised important findings and have made key recommendations highlighted in the report. Therefore, allow me to comment on the main concerns raised by your committee pertaining to my ministry. The recommendation by the committee is well noted, and that the ministry will ensure that the countrywide high-resolution aerial geophysical survey is conducted as scheduled. Mr. Speaker, I want to say this. When you are running a country, number one, remove emotions, remove rantings, focus on what you want to achieve. What we took over as the new Dawn government under the stewardship of one President Hakainde Hichilema was a confused mining sector. Nothing was happening. There were no discoveries. No new mines were opening. The brownfield mines were all in confusion. KCM, Mopani, name them, Lubambe, all of them in confusion. And as a methodical and systematic government, we thought the first thing that we needed to do is to look at the low-hanging fruit, which were the brownfield mines. I know that, Mr. Speaker, I have to speak to the report. I know probably that's where the point of order may be coming from. But I want to give a foundation of what led to the mapping of this country. So we needed to look at the low-hanging fruits, which were the brownfield mines. And we brought them on board. And the decisions to resuscitate the brownfield mines, Mr. Speaker, you can see for yourselves that the Kwacha has begun to breathe again. Because the mining sector, every economist that is commenting, Mr. Speaker, is saying this appreciation is as a result of the high productivity in the mining space. Even those that were condemning what we were doing in Mopani, in Luvambe, in Mingomba, in Kitumba, in Northwestern Province, now have come on board to say President HH and his team knew what they were doing. The Kwacha has begun to breathe again. This country's sector, Mr. Speaker, was left to chance, was left to abana bayamkwimba kandolo basanga God. Meaning, Mr. Speaker, they go to the field, they go to dig kandolo, and then they discover God. Mr. Speaker, Zambia is 750,000 square kilometers.
What is Kandolo?
Kandolo is sweet potatoes, Mr. Speaker.
Okay.
Mr. Speaker, Zambia is 750,000 square kilometers. We don't know what is happening in Shangombo, for example. We don't know what is happening in Kaputa because we have an incapacitated Ministry of Mines. And because President HH and his team realized that, we brought in the Minerals Regulation Bill and the Geological and Minerals Development Bill so that we can capacitate the ministry to be able to check what is happening everywhere. But even before they do that, we needed to map the country to understand where minerals are sitting. That is why we are doing the mapping. And this is a very brave decision by a brave leader called President HH. It's an expensive undertaking. The budget is constrained, but we have to do it. Mr. Speaker, these are the advantages of mapping. And that is why I am very happy that the committee has urged the government. Your committee, Mr. Speaker, is saying we need to do this in earnest. because it will help us monetize the minerals that we are endowed with. Benefit number one, Mr. Speaker, we'll be able to negotiate properly where licenses are sitting, because then we will know this area is endowed with A, B, C, D, X, Y, Z. And when we know, Mr. Speaker, let me drink water. These are the advantages, Mr. Speaker, of why your committee is saying mapping must finish quickly. Apart from negotiating from a point of knowledge, if we know that we have 40 tenements that are sitting with a particular mineral, it could be sugilite, it could be gold, it could be copper, we can sit with investors, both local and international, and say, we are going to monetize this. Because the kind of technology we are using, Mr. Speaker, may even tell us the economic value of particular tenements in terms of their endowment. And as such, Mr. Speaker, we can say, this tenement here can bring out, for example, $2 billion. So you as an investor, advance this government so that we invest in social sectors. As we develop this mine as partners, you begin to recoup your investment. That is the importance of the mapping. Mr. Speaker, it is not about just condemning and shouting that Zambia is endowed with wealth. Yes, it is, but the wealth is in the ground. We need to mine it. We need to do the science of mining, the engineering of mining, which is mapping. We need to drill. We need to do exploration. And that is when you can get the wealth of this country. Zambia, yes, is very rich, but it is sitting on its wealth. And there comes one Hakainde Hichilema, and he says, we map, we do exploration, then we discover, then we mine. It's going to take a bit of time, Mr. Speaker, but it's going to happen. And that is why the economy has begun to think and breathe and bring out the wealth, and the kwacha is peaking, and the economy is on the rise, Mr. Speaker. And we are not even shy to say we will continue with the mapping, we will push in more resources, and we will make sure that the whole Zambia is mapped. What we are sitting on right now, Mr. Speaker, is that Excalibur now is actually working according to schedule. I want to assure the committee, and it is making progress in Zone A, which is in the northwestern corner. Mr. Speaker, you may wish to know, Mr. Speaker, that actually the entire survey totals 2.7 million line kilometers, of which total of 462,000 kilometers, which is 22.3%, has been completed. 3 sub-blocks, Mr. Speaker, have been completed, namely Block 1, 2, and 5. What is actually exciting, Mr. Speaker, as they give us these preliminary reports, places which we thought would never have minerals because of the overburden of sand, which is Western Province, the results are looking very promising. And we are going to have mines spread across this whole country because of this very mapping that we are doing. Mr. Speaker, we are going to spend in excess of $90 million that can be recovered with one tenement. That's the way it works. The issues to do, Mr. Speaker, of our gold miners who are dying, it's going to happen, but the government is also in charge. Mr. Speaker, accidents in mines continue happening everywhere in the world. What is important is to make sure that we find out what is wrong, where the problems are, and we deal with them, and this government is in charge. Accident may happen, but we are going to deal with them as it should be. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Honorable Minister. The Honorable Member for Chisamba, wind up debate.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would like to thank all the members that have debated. I'd like to thank the Member of Parliament,
Order. Let's avoid debating while he's seated.
Kamfinsa, Nyimba, Namwala, and Nkana. I would also like to thank all the executive that have debated. Mr. Speaker, I would just like to say that this committee has a lot of work to do. As you may be aware from the report, Mr. Speaker, that we have assurances pending as far back as 2013. So that means we have a lot of work to do. As a committee, we would want to assure the members that this committee has been engaging the ministries to make sure that we look at these issues that are pending and how best they can be, how best we can work together with the ministries. And that is why we've been calling upon these witnesses, and these being our permanent secretaries, to make sure that these assurances are corrected at a particular time. So, Mr. Speaker, I would like to thank you.
I put the question. The question is that this House adopts a report of the Committee on Government Assurances for the fourth session of the 13th National Assembly, laid on the table of the House on Monday, 16th June, 2025. As many as are of that opinion say aye. Aye. Of the contrary say no. The ayes have it. The question is resolved in the affirmative. Her Honor, the Vice President, adjournment.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that the House now adjourns.
As no notice of an item for debate on the motion of adjournment of the House has been received, I put the question. The question is that the House now adjourns. Any debate, any objection? The question is agreed to. The House is now adjourned.
That note brings us to the end of today's live parliamentary proceedings. We're back tomorrow starting at 14:30 hours. It's that moment where we get to look at business that has been transacted on the floor of the House. Business started off with some announcements by Madam Speaker. She did recognize the presence in the public gallery of visitors from Adventist Church in Lusaka District and pupils and teachers from Brook Nursery Primary and Secondary School in Lusaka District. And so on behalf of the National Assembly of Zambia, Madam Speaker, we welcomed the visitors.
After that, we had two ministerial statements. The first ministerial statement was delivered by Honorable Felix Simutati, MP, Minister of Technology and Science, on the state of mobile network services in Zambia. And this ministerial statement was in response to the urgent matter without notice that was raised by Honorable Fred Jatila, Member of Parliament for Momba constituency. And on behalf of the government, the minister regretted to the Zambian people for the continued poor quality of services they have been experiencing from some mobile network operators.
The minister did say that the connectivity challenges experienced, particularly with the Airtel, include frequent call drops, unstable voice services, poor mobile internet, especially during peak hours, and prolonged outages. He did mention that government is deeply concerned that the challenges breach established consumer protection guidelines and serve as a threat to the realization of digital transformation agenda.
Given the importance the government places on communication, the minister said the following are the initiatives being undertaken by the government. The first one, 82 4G communication towers are being constructed, out of which 57 are already on air, and 24 towers have been upgraded from 2G and 3G to 4G, and 80 4G communication towers will soon be deployed starting this year.
The minister did say that this ZICTA, as a regulator, will impose appropriate sanctions once its assessments of the outage is complete, and these may include financial penalties, mandatory customer compensation, and if necessary, a review of the operator's license conditions to ensure Zambians receive the service quality they deserve. And you were talking about Matimba, some of the interventions that government is trying to put in place. In addition, the minister did say that government interventions that an enabling environment has been created for the private sector to invest in their networks to improve quality of service and availability as follows: that Airtel is constructing 352 communication towers and upgrading 173 sites to 4GB. And MTN has pledged to construct 110 communication towers and improve backup power at 335 sites countrywide, and that Zamto is also upgrading 1,200 towers from 2G to 4G in a phased approach, with 600 sites currently being upgraded. So those are some of the interventions that government is putting in place to avoid such inconveniences by some mobile companies.
The other ministerial statement was on strategic water supply interventions in Lusaka province. This was delivered by Honorable Engineer Collins Nzovu MP, who is the Minister of Water Development and Sanitation. The minister said these interventions are being undertaken by the Ministry of Water Development and Sanitation in collaboration with the Lusaka Water Supply and Sanitation Company, and are aligned with Vision 2030, the 8th National Development Plan, and Sustainable Development Goal number 6, clean water and sanitation.
And some of the interventions include current water production and supply, status. Currently, Lusaka water production capacity stands at approximately 350,000 cubic meters per day, against a daily demand of 480,000 cubic meters per day. Of this, 67% is sourced from surface water and 33% from groundwater. The other intervention is the long-term water security planning and design that Lusaka's future water needs. The government is conducting a 4 million plus feasibility study for dam construction in Chongwe district.
Another one is infrastructure expansion in peri-urban areas. The minister said that to improve access to safe water in peri-urban areas, government has allocated 34 million kwacha to Lusaka Water Sewerage Company, targeting over 50,000 residents. He said that this effort also contributes to cholera prevention and public health improvement.
Drought response and climate resilience is another intervention that government is putting in place, including rural water and sanitation service delivery.
And the minister did say that the measures he outlined reflect the government's unwavering commitment to climate resilience, inclusive development and sustainable service delivery in the water and sanitation sector. He said these are not merely infrastructure projects, they represent a significant step towards improved public health, economic productivity and human dignity.
So those were the two ministerial statements that were delivered earlier. The House went on to consider, one question for oral answer understanding order number 83, 82, and 3 questions for oral answer understanding order number 80. And just about now, we'll go through some of the responses regarding these particular questions. Question 325, understanding order number 80, did come from Mr. Daka of Chadiza. He did ask the Minister of Education whether government has any plans to construct the following infrastructure schools in Chadiza district, that's Science Labs and Home Economics Unit. And the Minister in response did say that government does have plans, but he did state that implementation has already commenced at Chadiza Day, and then steps are actually being taken to construct the necessary, infrastructure. That's the response by the Education Minister.
Another question came from Kalabo Central Member of Parliament, Mr. Chingamyutu. He directed his question to the Minister of Green Economy and the Environment. He wanted to find out whether the government has any plans to recruit foreign guard officers in order to enhance the conservation of forests countrywide. And the acting minister responded. He did say that government has plans In the other question, the Member of Parliament for Kalabo Central wanted to find out if so when the plans will be implemented, and the acting minister said the plans will be implemented once Treasury authority is granted. And in the other part of the question, he wanted to find out how many officers are earmarked for recruitment, and the acting minister indicated that 117 officers are earmarked for recruitment in 2025.
Mr. Daka of Chadiza again did ask the Minister of Tourism whether the government has any plans to refurbish the Chadiza District Administration Office Block, which is a national heritage. And so in response, the minister did say that government has plans to refurbish old administration blocks countrywide. And for this particular one, the Minister of Tourism did say that the Chadiza District Office Block is owned by the Chadiza District, and so the local authority can be engaged to refurbish the office block either by the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development or the Minister of Tourism.
After consideration of those questions, Chisamba Member of Parliament, Ms. Chushika Sanda, moved a motion urging the House to adopt the report of the Committee on Government Assurances for the fourth session of the 13th National Assembly, laid on the table of the House on Monday, 16th June 2025. And this motion was seconded by FERA Member of Parliament, Mr. Emmanuel Tembo. And we saw members of Parliament debating this motion. When a question was put, this motion has been adopted.
And so that's it. That's the business we had for you today, Wednesday, 18th June 2025. As always, we'd like to thank you for your time. Be sure to join us tomorrow starting at 14:30 hours for more parliamentary proceedings. From all of us, it's bye-bye, take care, and keep warm.